There's a quiet possibility I want you to consider before we begin. It's possible that right now, as you're watching this video, you have already walked through a pain that once brought you to your knees, and yet you never stop to notice. You may still believe there are fractures inside you, still searching, still watching videos, still waiting for the moment when healing finally arrives. But let me ask you something gently. When was the last time something small completely shattered your mood? When was the last time an old memory hijacked your entire day? When was the last time silence felt unbearable or being alone felt dangerous? And how long ago was that? If you have to pause to remember, if the answers aren't immediate, then something important may already be true. You are no longer standing where you once were. Your emotions may have matured quietly, without ceremony, without fireworks, without permission. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He said real healing does not announce itself. It does not arrive with certainty or closure. It unfolds silently, in how you respond, in what no longer controls you, in the life you now inhabit differently. Today, I want to guide you through 7 subtle signs that you've healed more than you think. These are not loud transformations. They are not dramatic awakenings. They are quiet reorganizations of the soul. So don't try to believe them. Just listen and notice what resonates. Because sometimes life heals us while we're busy surviving. If this kind of depth feels like home to you, gently like the video or subscribe to the Mind Kit. These reflections are meant to be revisited slowly. Chapter 1. Healing was never meant to look the way you imagined. Most people grow up with the same belief about healing, that it's linear, predictable, fixable. Something breaks, then you find a method, then you're repaired, like replacing a part in a machine, like stitching torn fabric. But the human psyche does not heal mechanically. Carl Jung recognized early that the inner world is not a system to be corrected. It is an ecosystem. It has seasons, dormancy, growth, decay, rebirth. Some wounds don't disappear. They transform. They stop dragging you under and become quiet memories integrated into your life story. The greatest misunderstanding is believing healing must feel good. If you demand healing move in a straight line, you'll assume you're failing the moment an old feeling resurfaces. One low mood, one heavy night, one unexpected memory. And suddenly you tell yourself, I'm still broken. But healing doesn't erase pain. It changes your relationship to it. You don't remember the exact moment you became less afraid. You don't mark the day criticism started hurting less. You don't celebrate the first time you stopped explaining yourself. It simply happened, and there's another illusion, perhaps the most dangerous one, that healing means becoming perfectly good. Jung never believed that. For Jung, healing meant wholeness. It meant no longer splitting yourself into acceptable and unacceptable halves. Inside you exists generosity and selfishness, compassion and anger, strength and fragility. Healing is not deleting the shadow. It is bringing it into consciousness. Before healing, impulses control you. After healing, they may still arise, but they no longer command you. That is freedom. So if you feel tired, if you feel unsure, if you feel like nothing is changing, it may not be because you're stuck. It may be because you're measuring growth with the wrong ruler. Healing grows like a tree, silently. Stay with me. The sign that follow may reveal more than you expect. Chapter 2. Sign 1. You can be alone without feeling lonely. There's a shift so subtle that many people miss it entirely. It's the moment when solitude stops feeling like abandonment. Before healing, silence feels threatening. You need noise, distraction, another presence, not because you're weak, but because being alone once meant being unsafe with yourself. Loneliness isn't about lacking people. It's about lacking connection within. Carl Jung said, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate what feels important within oneself. When parts of you are rejected, ignored, or suppressed, Silence forces confrontation, but healing changes your inner relationship. You begin allowing feelings without rushing to fix them, thoughts without judging them, moments without filling them. You notice it in small ways. You don't reach for your phone immediately. Evenings alone don't panic you. You feel present in ordinary moments, not ecstatic, just okay. And most importantly, you stop using others to regulate your existence. You still love, still connect, but absence no longer equals abandonment. This is what happens when you stop abandoning yourself. Loneliness dissolves not because people arrive, but because you return. If this feels familiar, pause. That recognition alone is a sign of healing. Chapter 3, Sign 2, the past no longer drives your emotions. There was a time when your emotions weren't truly about now. A delayed reply felt like rejection. Criticism felt like collapse. Silence felt like danger. Not because of the present moment, but because the past was still driving. Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Unprocessed memory speaks through emotion, but healing shifts something crucial. The same trigger appears, and you're no longer overwhelmed. You still feel discomfort, but it passes. Your reactions become proportionate. Feedback is feedback, not a verdict on your worth. Distance is distance, not abandonment. Healing doesn't erase memory. It relocates it. The past becomes context, not command. And often, this feels so normal you don't notice it. If something that once consumed you now only ripples, that is not numbness. That is integration. If this resonates, a quiet comment like, I've let the past rest, can anchor the moment for you. Chapter 4, Sign 3. You can hold opposites without panic. At a certain depth of healing, something profound happens. You stop needing emotional clarity all the time. You allow contradiction. You can feel strong and uncertain, loving and exhausted, grateful and resentful, and you no longer think something is wrong with you. Jung believed maturity comes from the union of opposites. The psyche seeks balance, not perfection. The shadow holds what you once rejected: selfishness, envy, weakness, need. Healing is not becoming flawless. It is reclaiming what you disowned. And the paradox? The more complexity you allow, the more grounded you become. You stop performing coherence. You stop exhausting yourself trying to be one thing. You become real, and reality is stable. Chapter 5, Sign 4. Other people's projections no longer define you. Projection is one of Jung's most important ideas. When people don't know themselves, they place their fears and insecurities onto others. Before healing, you absorb these projections. Someone is angry, you feel guilty. Someone judges, you collapse. Someone needs you, you disappear into the role. But healing creates pause, a moment where you ask, is this truly mine to carry? You still listen, still care, but you don't merge with others' emotions. You begin to know who you are. Boundaries appear not as walls, but as clarity. This isn't indifference. It's self-definition. When projections lose power, you stop living as a reflection and start living as a source. Chapter 6, Sign 5. Your dreams are changed. Dreams speak before consciousness catches up. Jung called them the private language of the soul. Before healing, dreams repeat. Being chased, being trapped, being unheard. They signal unresolved fear. But as healing deepens, dreams soften. You're no longer helpless inside them. The panic fades faster. Old figures disappear. What matters most isn't interpretation, but how you wake up. Before, tension, dread, heaviness. Now, neutrality, curiosity, lightness. When the unconscious feels safer, it stops shouting. If your dreams no longer scream, something inside you has reorganized. Chapter 7, Sign 6. You stop repeating the same kind of pain. Patterns repeat until they're understood. Jung believed unresolved inner conflicts manifest as recurring life situations. Same hurt, different faces. But when you stop rejecting your shadow, when you admit fear, need, jealousy, longing, life softens, not because it becomes perfect, but because it no longer needs to shock you into awareness. The loop weakens, and that quiet easing is not coincidence. It is consciousness. Chapter 8, Sign 7. You know you're living, not just existing. This is the deepest sign. You feel present in your life, not constantly happy, but awake. Jung believed many people exist without ever truly living. Healing begins when ego and unconscious cooperate. You stop reacting. You start participating. You allow sadness without escaping it. You allow joy without fearing its loss. You live with shadow and light, without losing yourself. This is individuation, not perfection. Presence. Finally, look back gently. Notice what has softened, what no longer controls you. Healing didn't arrive loudly, but it arrived. If this message stayed with you, a like or subscription is not for the algorithm. It's a signal to yourself. You're still listening, still choosing awareness. Thank you for walking this moment with the Mind Kit.